Most creators think YouTube growth works like this. You upload for months without many views, and then one day, the algorithm suddenly likes your channel and everything changes. That belief is very comforting, and it's why so many creators waste years waiting for something that never actually arrives. When growth feels random, the only conclusion left is that the channel itself must be broken. And that's not actually how YouTube works. Last week, a friend of mine sent me a YouTube channel that looked completely average and asked me, did the algorithm change or did she figure something out? For months, this channel was getting 200, 300, maybe even sometimes 500 views per video. And then out of nowhere, a handful of uploads started getting hundreds of thousands of views. One video crossed 100,000 views, then the next hit 200K, the next does it again, and then there was a little dip down to 36,000, and then it was straight back up to 150K. This was the same niche, the same person, on the same channel. No new channel. Most people see this and think one of two things. Number one, either the algorithm finally blessed her channel, or number two, that their own personal channel must be broken and needs restarting. But both of those conclusions are wrong. And the second one is genuinely dangerous because restarting your channel is often the most expensive mistake you can make on YouTube. It doesn't fix the real problem, it just resets the clock. And so once you see what actually changed here on this particular channel, there are two things that happened. Number one, you're going to stop worrying about whether the algorithm is against you. And the second is you're going to stop seeing growth as luck. And that's very nice. That's a nice thing to have. We don't like luck here on YouTube. We want strategies, right? You're going to end up seeing this as a solvable video problem. And by the end of this video, you're going to start to implement this stuff today and actually turn around your channel rather than just hoping and praying, which is what I'm sure the majority of you watching this are currently doing. Here's what happened on this channel. She didn't change her channel. She didn't change niches. She didn't wait for the algorithm to trust her or the algorithm gods to kind of like hit her with the lightning bolt and suddenly she starts getting hundreds of thousands of views. She made a very few specific changes at the video level and the video started winning. And that's the real lesson here. YouTube is a platform of videos, not channels. YouTube has been clear about this for years. The system evaluates each video on its own merits. It's asking three questions. Did people click this? Did they keep watching? And do they keep watching more afterwards? If YouTube truly flipped a switch on entire channels, the growth graphs for the subscribers and the views would just go up and to the right forever. And go and look at your favorite YouTuber's channel. You'll find that that's not the case, unless you're Mr. Beast for the last 5 years. But even now he's struggling, right? He's not getting the views he used to, right? You already know deep down that that's not what happens. You've seen channels, maybe even your own, where you get 500,000 views or 1 million views, and in the next video, the upload falls straight back down to the baseline. Okay, for you, you might be getting 20,000 views or 2,000 views per video. You finally get that outlier video where it's double the views and you think, yes, finally, the YouTube gods have blessed me. And then the next video, you're straight back down to where you started. And that's why YouTube can be so frustrating, because you don't know why things are working for you. That's because a lot of times, the momentum that for channels that truly grow starts at the video level first, not the channel level. In other words, if a video is great on YouTube, YouTube will push it. If it's a poor video, YouTube won't push it. And that's good news because it means those smaller channels like yourself can actually break out and compete with the big dogs on YouTube, just like this one did. And that only happens if the content is actually good. So what actually changed here on this channel? I spent some time analyzing it, and there are two video level changes that explain almost everything for her crazy growth. And if your channel feels stuck right now, these are the exact two places that you should start to look first. Number one, packaging finally looked like it belonged on YouTube. Let's look at the older uploads first. These thumbnails were dark, messy, full of stock photos, random icons, tiny text, very Canva template energy, right? I'm a big Photoshop fanboy, so I like using Photoshop over Canva. This to me just screams Canva. This looks like it was made 10 minutes before she hit the upload button, right? And this matters more than most creators want to admit, because thumbnails don't just get you the clicks, they actually signal effort and value. Right? If you had created an amazing handmade gift, right? And then you put it in the worst wrapping paper and then you give it to your friend or family member, like they're not going to appreciate that compared to if you had this amazing homemade gift and you gave it to them in this golden sparkly gift bag, right? With a little ribbon on the top. That's going to show that you actually care compared to if you'd wrapped it in newspaper and cardboard. And so it's the same thing with YouTube. Your title and your thumbnail are the packaging for the value inside of the video. A lot of creators spend time on spending money and hours on scripting and editing. But if you don't actually care about the title and the thumbnail, no one's going to click and see the amazing value inside the video. And so these older thumbnails didn't look bad because of taste. They looked bad because they communicated low perceived value. Hey copywriters, permission granted to ignore notes from this team. Could your next high converting message be buried on this website? Trying to break into a market with a known leader, try this value proposition. And there are dozens more like this. If you don't already know Joanna, then there's no reason to click on those videos. These videos do not look interesting to a cold audience, which is who you need to appeal to if you actually want to grow, because there are more people that don't know you than people that do. Now, if you compare that to the newer uploads, they are clean. They are bright. There's studio photography with very strong expressions. There are simple compositions. There's easily readable text. And the titles, they promise a clear outcome. How to articulate your thoughts more clearly than 99% of people. What to do when you have zero original ideas. You're now speaking my language. You're now appealing to me. You're making me want to learn about this transformation and get towards the outcome, right? I feel like there's value inside of this video. And so nothing magical happened here. She didn't hack the algorithm. She didn't buy ads. She didn't get a shout out from a huge YouTuber. It's the exact same person, but with more perceived effort into the packaging that actually earned attention. And so the perceived value of this video went up before anyone even clicked. And that's why ideas and packaging do the most heavy lifting on YouTube. The second thing she did was she started to make actual YouTube videos. The older stuff, if we look here, was 2 to 3 minutes long. At that length, they're basically shorts pretending to be long form. If you're making educational content under 5 minutes, you're usually stuck in that really weird, awkward middle ground where it's too short to build momentum, but it's too long to work as a short. And so the newer videos are 10 to 14 minutes. And more importantly, they have proper hooks, clear pacing, better audio, visuals, and structure. If we just put the two styles side by side, which one here hooks you the most? In my opinion, it's quite clear. One of these opens up with an intro sting, right? And these long static talking shots. And the other one is getting straight into the idea and it keeps things moving. That doesn't have to mean for you that you now need to have heavy video editing, right? It doesn't mean that heavy editing is required. There are plenty of minimal editing channels out there that do great. But in this case, the high production value again signals something quite important. She's taking the viewer seriously. So now YouTube finally has something it can test, right? It has number one, a compelling idea. Number two, there's clickable packaging. And number three, there's enough runtime for people to actually watch and get value from it. And so when a video becomes a hit and viewers enjoy it, YouTube offers them another from the same channel. Momentum builds at the video first level, as I mentioned before, and then it spills over into the entire channel where people can start binge watching. As a quick aside, if you want help learning how to do this properly, I've got a short 5-day email course breaking down exactly how I approach packaging for very large creators that I've worked with. And you can grab it at startgettingviews.com. So what does this mean for your channel? It means that you do not need to delete your channel, right? We've finally busted that myth, right? It's a very common myth and it's very frustrating. You don't need to delete your channel. You don't need to start from scratch. And you've learned that waiting for the algorithm to like you is probably a pretty bad thing to do. But what you do need to do now is actually try and improve your content. And so here's the little checklist that I want you to take from this video and start implementing. The first is I want you to commit to 1 new video per week for the next 12 weeks. The second thing is I want you to spend 80% of your effort on the idea, the title, and the thumbnail. And then the third thing is I want you to make videos that your audience actually wants from you, not what you feel like talking about that day. It's a very common mistake of you assuming what they want to watch as opposed to actually figuring out what they want from you. So ask your audience what they want from you in the community tab on Twitter, on Instagram. If you don't have an audience, go and look at your biggest competitors, click their most popular videos and see what are the common types of topics that your competitors are making videos about. Typically, those are the things that your audience wants from you. The fourth thing here is that I want you to stop optimizing for editing tricks and script writing, little tips and tricks and gear until you've nailed packaging and consistency. So here is the mental shift that I want you to take as well from this video, because I think it really simplifies everything, because there's a lot of confusing stuff on YouTube, a lot of conflicting advice, and you never really know what to follow, right? Especially because a lot of people talk about the algorithm, right? Here is the mental shift that's going to simplify everything for you. Write this down. Replace the word algorithm with audience in your dictionary. So anytime you want to say something like, what does the algorithm want from me right now? What does the algorithm favor? You need to change that in your mind and instead ask a different question, which is, what does my audience desperately want from me right now? If you ask that question, you're way more likely to hit the target with what they genuinely want from you. And that means you're going to be able to start making videos that they're going to enjoy and binge watch and grow your channel. And so if you can answer that question well, you can package it clearly and you can do it consistently, then the algorithm is going to take care of itself. And so now you've seen why channels don't suddenly get picked up by the algorithm and how growth, actually comes from fixing individual videos. Because there's a dangerous mistake that I think most creators make after this realization, at least from what I have seen from people who consume this type of stuff. Instead of fixing the real problem, they're going to restart, they're going to change their niche again, they're going to get obsessed over the wrong metrics. And all of this quietly kills months or years of progress. So before you touch your channel, I want you to watch this video right here. I break down a real client who thought their channel was dead and the strategy that we used to pull 8 million views from the very first video that we worked on together by fixing the exact mistakes that you just learned about in this video.